Okay, so I've got the curfew here. I used to actually use the toads to mark this, because there were 3 of them, and a die could cause issues. Oh, I found another stand over here. Interesting. Some of the ones have fallen off this. One thing I'm amused about is how many people who seem, to have such fond memories of this game. Wow. Now, some of you started young, and that I do get. I really do. But, gosh, for me, I didn't run into it when I was at all young. I ran into it before I bought it. The role players were the ones who had this. The people who did not do any wargaming or anything. And, that was a pathway into wargaming. Anyway, let's go let's go to my archaeologist. I don't know what he's trying to do. I guess he's trying to grab that pile and the money and stuff like that. But he gets a 1, has no movement specialties. I'll just go here where it's safer. And grab some gold. Archmage. Archmage can walk right up the gateway. Nobody's got the ring. He's the one with the ring who could steal. 3. Take a couple of cards. All right. First we have a centaur who gives me a ride. Roll a die and move as though it's in movement. And then the next thing is this magic harness. I can't encounter this if I ride away. If you defeat a dragon in combat, you can put it in a harness. While the dragon's your captive, you can add 3 to your score in combat and roll 2 dice for movement and 1 with the highest. Wow, that's pretty potent. Of course, if you fit it with the harness, you're not taking it for strength points. And I'm really interested in movement right now, so I'm going to roll a die and keep going. It's not often that you'd make that kind of choice. I find a magic mace. Add 2 to your strength in any battle in which you use the magic mace. Oh, well. The porter, I think, is full. He's allowed to carry 4 objects. There's the 4th object. And I picked this up. That's 2 more to strength. It's potent as hell. I'm pretty strong, given a 3 strength, without the warhorse at this point. And on to the dwarf. Dwarf is wanting to find a way across. 2. Well, I'll keep bopping around down here, I guess. I find the cross. This is powerful. If you're evil, you don't lose a life in the chapel. If you're good, you don't lose a life in the graveyard. You automatically defeat demons, wraiths, ghosts, specters without resorting to combat. This is really huge for getting rid of this thing. The rest of them, usually people get enough psychic capability. And what's this guy up to? I don't know. Pick shit up. Well, let's pick shit up. All right, so here's the question. The power glove is a weapon. I don't think I can use it in conjunction with the sword. But the sword doesn't say weapon. And Mr. Logic says the power glove should be adding strength, etc. But the thing is, it's not adding strength for everything, just for combat. So I don't know if I'm going to end up counting the sword with it or not. This is one of those, hey, the logic of the situation doesn't really, should it matter, should it not? I don't know. Get back to Indy here. He has no movement capability. You could go there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or to this crappy place. I'm going to draw a card, but this is at +2. Ooh, okay, this is one of the good items. This is the Roon Sword. You can't take it if you're good. It adds 1 to your strength for combat, whoop, whoop, whoop. But when you defeat a monster or another player with it, you gain a life. Well, too bad I'm good. Is anybody evil? No. So now we're at 2 neutrals and 2 goods. High Mage on his way up. I was here, 1, 2, 3. I'm going up. That's a strength of 9. I have 3, 4, 5, 6. I believe this just adds 1. 7, 8. Plus 10 is 18. I pass through without a problem. I draw a piggy. I kill the piggy. I don't really need combat capability, so I'm just, sorry, I'm trying to find a place to put my pipe. There's so much space used up here. So I don't know what I'm saying. Okay. The Dwarf. Puttering about. 6. Go here. Go here. I don't particularly want to destroy the demon, so I'll run away. And I find a magic helmet, a sword and a magic helmet. So 4, 5, or 6 to prevent you from losing a life. Pretty cool, you know, I guess. Okay. And there's a rule that I believe says you can only use 1 weapon. So I think the power glove and the sword cannot be combined. Always hate that though. Not sure what I'm doing with him. 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm good. I could pray at the chapel. Let's do so. So what's interesting here, it says gain a life. I couldn't get a spell. I should have gone down to the Mystic. That would allow me to gain a life over and above my total, because it's not limited. I think we've gone through 2 of these toads. And the card has no effect, unlike the Blizzard, so. Well, let's get rid of the last one, and then I'll head. 1. Orb of Knowledge. I don't have room to pick up anything. And I don't think it's that terribly useful. I do have the Princess, so I will heal 2 lives. I could take money, but healing the lives is the more important thing at this moment. As I explain out all the reasons for the choices in a game where there really is so little in terms of strategy and whatnot. But there are a lot of choices that are balanced out by the cards you have, and sometimes you can fuck up. I've shown that in this game in many ways. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. I don't like his ring. I want to take his ring away, because his ring could take my horse away. So I ride to here. I'm going to attack at huge quantities. Anything I want to do with these spells? Not really. I can't take the horse through the warp gate, so that's kind of a wasted spell for me. So he's at 4, 5. He's got this. That brings him to 13. That's a fair amount, actually. 13. I'm at 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I'm at +5. I really can't lose at +5. Uh, so I don't remember if there was anything I could do. Seem to think there was, but I don't see any. Like I thought the dragon venom did me something. All right, so we're attacking a +5, charging him on the horse. We defeat him. We're taking the ring away. Do I want to own the ring? I think so. Which means I'm going to burn... I'm going to keep magic objects. I'm going to burn the golden statue for $1. It's worth 5 at the castle in a moment. Hold on. Let's burn... let's burn the dragon venom for $1. And turn this in for 5 more. So that gets me $6, and I've put the ring in my holdings. I'm burning the objects through the alchemist. 2, 4, 2 more. I have a little pile of gold minis. Not here, but yeah. Not many either, so not enough for the game. The dwarf. Drinking or crags, I'd favor drinking. I don't feel like going along. A wizard offers you to teleport to the outer region space of your choice as your next move. I'm going to put me there. That's how I indicate that you have that option. That means I have to go around another time or else I'll forget. Because even though that was a regular convention before, I'm so unused to playing this that walking away in that condition, I'm not going to remember. 1, don't want the demon. I find a demigod. It'll give me the spell of my choice. Well, I can't learn any spells, but he still wanders off to the discard pile. Because it doesn't say if you are available for it or whatever. Or so I say. Oh, I had to burn this. This was a 1 use. I mean, I didn't have to. I could have just given up the ring. I don't know. I get a 1. A Roon Sword doesn't do me any good. I'll take some gold. Warp belt and the maze. Well, the maze is no problem at all. The warp belt gives me some movement bonus. I need the warp belt while I'm moving. I need the weapons while I'm fighting. I can actually have both, essentially. So this is a complicated situation. I'll put the shield here on the porter, but I can swap things out at different points in my turn, so it's not really a big deal. It's just I can only have 4 things that impact combat. I probably should have the shield out just because that'll be easier to remember. This is gone. These timed issues are hard to remember. Oh, that's what that little thing is. I've got this toad comes with a thing to stand on. I don't know why I have so many toads. Are they all? Yeah, see, these may just be toads. No, they're from Talisman. Like, one has a pirate hat on. What the fuck? And 2 of them have hats. They came from Talisman. There's no question. I think I'm on the dwarf. Okay. Dwarf goes to the magic space. I grab the money. I have no one to carry stuff, so I have to make my choices here. Battle armor, definitely want. Jetpack, I don't know. Holy Lance, definitely better than the sword. The sword is useless to me. Battle armor is better than the magic helmet. Cross. So I like the Staff of Mastery because I'm not all that strong. That allows me one more thing. A bonus in the mines. Do I have a chance? I mean, I think I do. I think I do if I keep that. The problem with this, there's a demon card as a final ending that this is an automatic victory for. And I'm not likely to see an animal. I'm going to try to go for the victory. That's what we're going to do. We're going to try to go for the win here and try to slip in there before the Archmage does. And we could end up in really terrible shape because of it, but at least I'd be trying to end the game, which I'm in favor of. Shit. Okay. Chinese dragon. Strength 6, craft 6. This is very wise and hostile. He'll attack you using either strength or craft, depending on which of your attributes is weakness. And I guess this is just straight attribute, which I don't know, because I got +1 here, you know, whatever. It's going to be the same in either case, though. If you lose the combat, you lose a life and 1 magic object, and the dragon stays on this space. Lose the magic object, what does that mean? Does that mean the dragon grabs it? I don't know. There might be a question on that. There's a whole set of fact questions that came out. This is, I think, from the straight expansion. So it's definitely going to be craft no matter what, which means I'm at -3. See, the thing is, it's my option to use this. It's not my option what my stats are. Hey, I kill it. Since it has strength, I'm able to keep it for strength. I don't know. And I am going to call that a session for a little while. Yeah. I guess. Back to Talisman. Oh, who the fuck? What's he doing? I don't know. Why has he got this blade? It's not too useful. The dwarf grabbed the best of the pile of stuff. There isn't a hell of a lot left for me. But what is left may still be appealing, since I can go there. And I'd encounter the space rather than a person, which means I can go to the temple as well. At least that's how I read this shit. So, craft instead of strength doesn't make a lot of sense. Ring of Command lets me grab a dragon. Staff of Mastery lets me grab a permanent follower. That's a really, really good item. I'm surprised the dwarf didn't grab that. He had some iffy choices, I guess. Yeah, I'm going to go here. And definitely want the Staff of Mastery. Ring of Command. This is not the thieving ring, no. Now the question is the others. Well, The sword, I have matched by my axe. No problem there. Magic helmet, yeah, I mean, defensive rolls, they're the loser's game. But the jetpack is the iffy one. Add one to your die when moving. This is a pretty good deal. I don't like throwing any of this away, but I think the least valuable of all of these is the Exorcist's Blade. My craft isn't necessarily going to be better than my strength. It's likely the other way around. So I'll do that, and then I'll go pray. Which is a 9. That's gain a spell. Slow motion, you cast this on yourself or another player. One space a turn for the next 2 turns. God, I hate multi-turn stuff when it's not so bad when you're playing, you know, with other players, but with my kind of, hey, I want to wander down and do stuff. Could give me the Roon Sword. I can't use that. Yeah, I don't know if I want that spell. What's the High Mage up to? Grabbing the remainder of the stuff, there's a couple of magic items could be of interest. I don't know how much I care. Instead, I'll grab a couple more gold. All this gold, does it matter? I don't know. But it puts me in a position to go up, which is the big thing. The Dwarf. The Dwarf is in a similar position, honestly. With a 2, do I want the Roon Sword? Oh, man. Well, I definitely don't want the maze. The problem with the Roon Sword is, what do I give up? I've got a good collection of stuff. The Roon Sword's not as good as the Holy Lance. Barely. So I'll just move. And the Marine, what he's up to. I have a Talisman. I can become the High Mage. Again, I allow that stealing because I think it's just too powerful to fix the character. I guess we'll do another one. Black die kind of sucks. You either pay a gold or lose a life. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll go here. This is +2 on the enemy's check. Oh, I could go 1 extra space. I'll go here. I forgot I have the jetpack. There's a reason I have it. This is the Hidden Valley Ranch. Has 3 cards, and they are good for me. Because one of them is a mule. And I will put the Ring of Command. The mule is an object. You may carry any number of objects. Okay, yeah. That's not correct, I think. I think that's in black and white. That's the original mule. Let me look for a modern mule and see how they're worded. A modern mule that came in the cities box is much less useful. With this, you may carry up to 8 objects. Should you lose the mule, you must immediately leave any surplus objects in the space you're in. That sounds like 4 extra, except that they don't stack or something. I don't know. Whereas the old one was, you may carry any number of objects. I remember there being a rule that overrides what the original mule did with the carry any number of objects. I'm not going to worry about it right now, but I do get to put some garbage on here, and we're getting crowded. And then I have the magic harness. If I defeat a dragon, I may fit it with this harness instead of killing it. While the dragon's captive, you can add 3 to your score in combat. Again, it's a magic object. I can trade that in and become High Mage, but you know, it doesn't really make a lot of sense for me and the dwarf to be fighting over who the high mage is. That's the problem. For some reason I cut the camera when what I want to do is go up here. I don't roll a die, I just declare I'm going up there. This is the portal of power. I got to roll 2 dice. It's under craft or strength. Do I have anything that helps me? I don't. I have a talisman, which I'd have to swap out if I'm in there. My craft is 10. This is pretty easy to do. But I make it tough. All right, the dwarf. The dwarf is also close here. Let's keep rolling. 1. Do I want to go to the castle? Yeah. I'll heal a life at the castle. Might as well. I'm on my way up. The Marine can go into the city. Problem with the Space Marine is he has no money. Do we care? No. Throw a talisman away. I'm now the high mage. He's fine with his spells, but now he has his special ability back of being able to discard a garbage spell like the Warp Gate for the preservation. And the high mage gets 2 spells, and I think of 4 you're allowed to have 2. So I don't have to worry. Oh, he's at 5 actually. So I get a metamorphosis. This allows me to discard the adventure card that I drew and get a different one. And weakness, I can reduce the strength by 1. Generally, you'd use that in a combat situation, so, okay. All right, once more. My craft has just gone down. I'm a lot less likely to make it through the mines. Uh-oh. But I'm on him. And his stats are not high enough to get him anywhere. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2. I'll go there, I guess. I draw a card. I meet a unicorn. This is a follower. It adds a strength, a craft, and that is definitely helpful. You can see the piles of cards as they grow become problematic. One thing about having, you know, something like the mule or whatever is you can haul stuff and sell it in the city, which can be useful. What am I doing? I'm moving forward. All right, so now I'm down to an 8. Three dice at 8 is really unlikely, but since I've gone this far, I'll go there and see what comes of it. I can't use the warp belt to increase my movement to skip past here. Okay, so I roll 5 over that 8. I end up at the Warlock's Cave. I had a talisman with me, so that's good at least. He does not. That's his problem. He can't go up without a damn talisman. He doesn't have room for stuff. Don't need to deal with the Warlock. So yeah, the Dwarf can't really make it up without grabbing a talisman. I don't feel like I'm that strong, so I may head elsewhere. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll go. See, I have trouble getting back up here. That's the problem. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cursed Glade gives me no items. I rely heavily on my items. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm clever enough for the maze. I have the familiar, so I am. I'll go here. This is somewhat dangerous. And I meet a peddler. The peddler will sell me stuff. I could buy a spell that might be really useful for 3 gold. Let's do that. Because it's hard to get a spell. It's restoration. You can cast the spell after completing an event. It cancels any instruction to discard or lose an adventure card you already had. Now the peddler rolls a die and moves around the board clockwise after you encounter him. So he's now there on the temple. A lot of crap at the temple. Somebody ought to take a vacuum to it. Our new high mage was this guy. Well, that's interesting. What are my spells? Okay. Let's try to leave. Oh, that sucks. I don't want to draw 2 cards, so I'll go here. That gets me 1. I face an earth elemental. Let's craft 5. I'm craft 4, 5. Not much I can do about it. I have to fight it. It beats me. It will drag you onto the first corridor space of Talisman dungeon, where it will remain until defeated. Oh, so not only did it fight me, but it took me down here, which is kind of cool. That's where I want to be. But I was beaten, so now I have to face myself this way to indicate that I'm running away in the dungeon. 1 space at least. There are no dungeon doorways, so there's nowhere for me to hide. I'm stuck in the dungeon with no exit. This is a problem. All right. So that was his turn. We're going to have to keep going because I have to deal with this confusion. I'm not sure I want to. The jetpack is the +1 movement. This is the move only once. I don't know. Yeah. I'll move to there. I have an axe. I could build a raft. Oh, I forgot I have the axe. That's easy. Mage. A kindly mage has made his home here. He will give 1 spell per visit to each good player landing there if their craft is sufficient to allow them the spell. All right. I got to look this up. I've got a craft of 4. I'm allowed 2 spells, so I get another spell. Reflection. If somebody casts a spell at me, I can reflect it back. Okay. I hear somebody out there. What about my conjurer? What's up with him? I don't know. I guess I roll a die because I don't want to just move on. Go here or there. No extra carry capacity. I'll go here. There's nothing I particularly want there, is there? The warp belt. Well, first I deal with the peddler. And there's nothing I want from the peddler. So he moves on. Now he's the only card there. Exorcist Blade, not interesting with the Warhorse. Magic Helmet, not valuable. Sword, no, I've got this magic mace. So everything I've got is better. I could shoot an arrow at the dwarf, but that's not going to fucking do anything. So I will pray. 4, that can't be good. Lose 1 life or lose 1 follower. I am low on lives. I'm going to ditch the archer. He's pretty shitty. Although, I would kind of like to lose followers here, but screw it. I don't want to lose a life. That puts me in too much risk. Just like a single spell could blast me or something. Okay. That's the dwarf. Dwarf doesn't know what he's doing. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, a +3 enemy sucks, but I don't have much choice. I meet a witch! A witch is in this spot for the rest of the game. If you land here, you must roll a die. This can be really painful if you're turned into a toad. I am not. Instead, I just lose a life. Not a good result, but I mean, it's a witch, damn it. And finally, no matter what I roll, I end up back at the entrance and on my way in. Now, the next time I roll, I get to skip over him. Once the dungeon gets cluttered enough, yeah, first quarter space, yeah. Once the dungeon gets cluttered enough, it becomes hard to deal with. But while it's still primarily open, it's kind of safe, sort of, kind of. It might get me all the way to the Crown of Command. I am done for a little bit there, because I am not enjoying right now at all. It feels like my current manic phase is starting to falter, which is to say, probably going to slow down a lot on the gaming. Got other things that are stressing me again that have poked their ugly head. This really started faltering, though, with the shift that makes life more difficult. Okay. My little archaeologist there, I got no fucking clue what he's trying to do. Maybe become, he's got a mule, so he can't really easily go into the Magic Emporium, but maybe that's what he's aiming for. I don't know. Once you have a mule, you're kind of fucked into a certain life. A healer. All right, this is a stranger. He'll heal lives for free, which is awesome. What am I doing there? That looks like that's meant to signify something, maybe not. I've decided I can't go, I've decided I can't go up the hill easily. Do I want to snarf up the Orb of Knowledge? I mean, why not? Oh, because I have a limited porter capability. And I'm good, so I can't use the Roon Sword. I'm just going to roll a die, see what happens. Could be worse than this. Shit. I can't even take it. 1, 2, 3, I'm there. Yeah, let's buy some healing. That's probably the best thing I could do anyway. Oh, the dwarf. I don't know what the fuck the dwarf's up to. The dwarf does not have a talisman, and there aren't any lying around on the board. So, do I want to go to the Cursed Glade where I can't use any objects? Any strength or craft points from objects or magic objects, nor can use magic objects, nor can use strength. Okay. cast spells. I'm relatively potent. This is not an object. So I meet a sphincter. Ask me a riddle. I pick one. I get nothing. And that'll go away. It could give me a spell. It'll go away once it fails. I'm stuck in the dungeon. This is jail for me, honestly. And I kind of find that cool. So I roll a die, I face the damn elemental again. This could be the death of him. I am at even. I have a standoff. I believe that doesn't force me to go back, but I don't kill him. That's fine. We go, I guess, back here. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with any of these characters. I've lost my light. It's an earthquake. An earthquake happens, roll one for each face-up adventure card on it. On a 1 or 2, it tumbles down a chasm to the discard pile. Okay. This is in the same region, so it does check. Nope. The healer. Healer is gone. That's a pity. The healer is very useful to people in that area. Mage and demon. The demon is gone, which is fine. It doesn't serve much purpose. My conjurer. What's my conjurer up to? I don't particularly want to just move one space, so... Ugh, Black Knight. Yuck. I'll pick up the Orb of Knowledge. In order to do that, I have to destroy something and turn it into gold. With the Alchemist. The Dwarf. No idea what I'm up to. Not with anyone. An imp. He will send me somewhere. He sends me to the ruins. No, not the ruins. The ruins over here. That's 2 cards. And then he goes away. Oh, shit. Himself. Ugh. Damn. All right. Well, there's an exit now. So who the hell was this? This was the Dwarf. Where is the Dwarf? He's back there. Damage armor. I do not want... There's the dungeon doorway. The dungeon is open. I could go down there. I don't have anybody who prevents me. And now he's got a possible exit if he wants it. But I don't think he does. So he'll go forward. Draw a card. It's a torch. A torch allows him to roll twice for movement and take either roll while he's in the dungeon. Might as well carry it, you know, I got room for it. As we keep going, just a little bit longer. Gotta try to burn my way through this damn thing. I have an axe if I want it to cross. I'm not sure I do. My meal's not full, but... I meet a porter. He'll carry 4 objects if I pay him a gold. Sure. Because I don't know how many I can carry on the mule. Plus he's a follower. Could be useful. Do I want to build a raft? There's a bunch of neat stuff I could scoop up. Nah. I just don't care enough. I really don't. 3. Damn peddler. Let's go here where we get a card. It's another dungeon doorway. The maze doesn't impact me. I can encounter the doorway first. You have to spend a turn to go through it. You don't get to walk into it right away, if I recall correctly. Again, I don't want to look up a lot of shit, and I'm just working from memory as much as possible. If you try to play this game trying to, and you haven't played it for a while and you don't have these memories built in, you spend a lot of time looking the shit up. That may not be the case with the more modern editions, but with the first and second editions at least, and the stuff that came off of them, the rules were just a fucking mess. I wouldn't expect them to get better though. It's Games Workshop, man. I don't know. Let's go in. Because I can. The Conjurer can't without leaving his warhorse, so he probably won't. That puts me on the High Mage again, who hasn't ended up with a lot of cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, another card. A Giant Spider, strength 5. This is fairly easy for me to beat. 5. Only one weapon. 6, I'm at +1. Let's make me +2. And I get another spell. Good Mesmerize. That allows you to steal a follower from someone else. I'm at +2 on the Giant Spider. Oh, wait. First, I have to roll less than my craft. My craft is 4, 5. Oh, shit. Okay, so what was I at? Because his strength has just increased. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're at even now. To make me +1. I believe that +1 is actually a big difference. Yeah, I'm killed. Okay. I lose a life. And this is the thing, the dungeon starts collecting up garbage that's hard to deal with, and then they're hard to deal with spaces that are baked into it. So it becomes a painful place to go. Now you'll notice this was actually printed by the company. They couldn't get just like with the adventure cards, they couldn't get them matched up, right? They couldn't get the appearance of different cards correct. Like those are from the city or something. I don't know. All right, another one around, I guess. Do I particularly want to go in the dungeon? I have a mule, but the mule could go in. Sure, we'll position ourselves there. Winged boots, magic object. These allow you to, if you're wearing them, get a bonus. Now, right now, I have a bunch of different units. I'll give the winged boots to the porter. Basically, I don't know if the mule should add infinite 4 or 8. And I think it adds 4 according to a special errata type thing that was added to the original game. But personally, I think they should be able to carry more than a porter, but who cares? Okay, I don't know where I am. I'm on the Conjurer. The Conjurer does not want to go through the doorway. I roll a 1. That's not a good roll. That will put me in the desert. Not much I can do about it. I can preserve a life. It's not the best time to use that, but how great an alchemy. But whatever. The Dwarf is entering the dungeon now. I get this, which is garbage. I have no room for this garbage, so it goes there. And then finally our new high mage, who has to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, draws a card, but now he's normal. Finds the altar. You can pray at the altar. Why not? Nothing happens. But now I'm going forward again. Okay. Again. A phantom. The first evil player who visits it will get their choice of a wish, basically. A whole bunch of things you can get. There are no evil characters. The Conjurer. I have a Talisman. Yeah, this is a +2 county patrol. A unit of the patrol, if you have a warrant, they'll try to arrest you and bring you to the city. Otherwise, you discard it. Nobody's picked up a warrant yet. It's possible to buy warrants on people. There's all kinds of shit you can do in the city. I don't tend to do a whole hell of a lot because it's so complex. But sometimes, other than the Archmage, sometimes there's plenty of stuff that you can work your way into a really powerful position just out of the city. I don't know. The Dwarf. The Dwarf finds the Crystal of Power. You can add 1 to your score in Psychic Power, in Psychic Combat. This is not a terribly valuable thing. It doesn't add to your craft. I think I have a better set of equipment right now, so I'm going to leave that lying around. And the Mage goes to the library. You must roll a die. 4, I discover a secret passage. Take an extra move. Awesome. Tunnel. Some more crap. Oh, I have not remembered to roll my dice. Oops. That's life. All right, I'm going to stop for a while. I can't bear any more of this shit. I mean, this is the thing, right? There's a certain fun element to the game early on, but when the game starts to drag, it really starts to drag. It becomes a complete boring waste of time. And that tends to be the case very, very often. First of all, people, including myself, obviously, although some of that is because I haven't played it in a while, don't really focus that well on let's get this over with and try to finish it as quickly as possible. It should only take a couple hours if people are really focused and don't get horrendous luck. But picking off and knocking other people out has definitely hurt. And that some of that has to do with the more players there are, because that leaves the more opportunities for someone with only 1 life to be in a position where someone else can end that life. But also, you know, one of the things it does, sure, all the equipment and everything's there, but the stats aren't up there where they were, right? And then, like, allowing the stealing of the Archmage, that weakened him significantly, made it so that this was no longer an easy option. And I feel like, well, I got to get a couple more craft somewhere. Getting that craft is hard to do, though. It really is. This is the place where it can be done. So I kind of don't know what the hell to do. I should have used the Orb of Knowledge here. The hands of cards and special abilities that each card gives you is getting to the point where it's just becoming a pile of crap that you start forgetting about and everything. Like with the torch, not using that. It's easier when you're only playing 1 character at a time. There's no question about that. Plus, you're usually sitting around waiting for the other person to make their decisions. Now, I could not have played this if my experiences with most group play were the regular situation. Like the only reason this got a lot of plays from me, and somewhere up in the 40s or whatever, is because one of my wives or another ended up liking the game enough that we were pretty quick and good at doing it. Especially my first wife, we played a lot of this. Second wife, not so much, because I don't know. It just I wasn't willing to go through the learning curve. Not that there's much to learn, but there's learning how to be fast at the game. It's kind of like, what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Empires of the Middle Ages in that that's a really, really easy game. You can get a pat, you can get things down really quickly, but if you don't, it's fucking miserable. And I feel coming back to this after all this time, it's fucking miserable. Yeah, it was always bad solo, though. I should just fucking quit it. I feel Talisman gets right, though, that like Magic Realm fails to do. Most games get it right, but Talisman does, at least, for all its blunder around and do stuff with no reason. At the end of the game, you've gotten up here and you've done something impressive. You've done something everybody's trying to do, and maybe you've actually killed off the other characters by doing it. Other games that kind of do that in the fantasy element, Wizards, where you're trying to save the world, Titan, where you're trying to wipe out your enemies. Most games have kind of a real success, a real condition of success that makes sense. Magic Realm just pisses me off because it's kind of like, it uses a formula kind of like, what the fuck is that game? An old Milton Bradley one, or Parker Brothers one. Careers, where you select like how much happiness, how much wealth, and how much fame you want. And when you get them, you just have gotten there. And that's an okay mechanism for that game. Because you're just trying to meet sort of life goals. It just doesn't feel like the right mechanism at all for a game where you're going out and like collecting up magic items and stuff. To be like, well, how much notoriety, how much fame, sure, those are already there. How much money, and how many special magic items do you have? And that's kind of it. The only way to make that game, or one way to make that game work a little bit better, is to try to make the campaigns mandatory. But they're so unbalanced. If you try to do that, it just doesn't fit in well. Then I tried to do one where there's like, once you complete certain things, you set it to where people are permanently dead or something. I just couldn't come up with anything that gave a satisfying victory condition for what was kind of an interesting mechanism-based, basis for the game. Whereas this has a horrible mechanism, but at least it has a reasonable ending. All right, let's see what we can squeeze out before I go dancing, and this may not all be in one great push. I highly doubt it is, actually. Oh, 4. I got the jetpack. I think that allows me to move an extra 1 if I want. I've got a mule, so I could actually go down here. I've already discussed that. I don't know if it's particularly appealing at this point. Some gold. The Conjurer. See, I'm trying to figure out what the fuck everybody's trying to do. The Conjurer has a talisman, needs some craft, which the easiest way to get a little bit more back might be going back to the damn city. That's the problem. But if I'm relying on the high mage to get me there, that can be stripped from me again. So I don't like that. Well, that just sucks. Let's go to the Warlock's Cave. Yeah. Those are just, you roll the die to get your quest for a talisman. This is 2 cards, I believe. I hate that they give wordy instructions for everything when it's basically just draw cards. Okay, so I found a squeak. The squeak is strength 3. I've got 6, 7, 8, 9. By the way, this just adds to your strength, not your combat strength. 9, again, complex, right? 10, 11. And I gotta remember, if he ever takes a wound in combat, he's got possible issues. But it's unlikely. So I'm at like +8. I have a spell. God knows what that does. Useful. Okay, I killed the rat. I'm not really interested in the torch. Don't have room for it. And now we go on to this guy, and I think he's facing this way since he's on a broken sword, but I'm not. Yeah, I think he got flung back from the spider, but he wants to keep going forward. Now, is there something that I can or want to do? Well, maybe. I can steal a follower. Here's the problem. I got nothing really good. The gnome is really awesome for getting through the mines and might be incredibly important, but I'm nowhere near that. I'm going to steal the man-at-arms, and his spell will not protect him. That gives me another spell. This is done before you take your turn. I got to remember, for the people who are burn through spells, to do so. I have no idea. Everybody's got fucking spells now. Okay. It's good to hold a reflection that can sometimes win you the game, as somebody pointed out in the comments. Go here. Cave of Bones. Okay, I think this is one of the interesting ones that can get me. Yeah, it can get you to the Crown of Command. And instead of immediately fighting the Dragon King, which, of course, he's not capable of doing, because I used the random events, the random endings, this could just win you the game. This is the bonus place that is better than the dungeon. 5. Fight a dragon, strength 9. Okay. And none of these give you anything for success, but it's a risk. Now, it's a dragon, which means the dragonette is in play. So 4, 8. I can't without a card. 9, 10, 11. I think I'm at 11, which gives me a +2. And I win there. I don't get anything out of it, but I've got a 1 in 6 chance of making it right to the center of the board every time I land there. That's better than anything else that's out on the board. All right, I think that means the conjurer needs to come down. What are his spells? I got 2 shitty spells. Does the vortex give me anything useful? I don't think it does. No, the vortex throws you on the plane of peril, which, as its furthest place, which really isn't too useful. there's no problem with me going through the space world timescape, but and I'd kind of like to get rid of my crappy ass cards. I've got 2 cards that suck, is the problem. I can't use my special ability for either. I could use alchemy and burn something. Gotta have a purpose to do it. I haven't made a decision that I want to get rid of anything. So yeah, let me just roll. All right, we'll try the Sphinx. I'll pick a 1. Nope. The Dwarf. The Dwarf finds the spider. He has a craft check. His craft is 3, 4, 5. He does not roll less than, so he's facing a 7, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm at +2. I win the battle. And I am going to take a point of strength, which puts me to a 4. Now, one of the kind of pain in the ass things is, put these up here since we're in there, is these cards were both from the dungeon. Sometimes you get cards mixed up and they end up in the wrong deck when you're cleaning up the game at the end. This poor little butthead. Hey, I got a torch. Let's roll the dice for the torch. The torch is actually very, very powerful for getting away from crappy stuff in the dungeon. 4 and 1. 1, I could pick on the Dwarf again. You know, I lost my mesmerize. Oh, I want to do this. Screw that. This gives me 3 successive turns and another spell. A random. Random is dangerous. But I believe I'm never able to become a toad, so I'll cast a random. I roll a 4. I lose all gold. I had none, no biggie. You could cast it on other people instead. Summon Storm, I can't do that from the dungeon. Okay. So my first turn. 3 or 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll go all the way here. Draw a card. Magic Mirror. I look into it and it shatters, but I get a spell. I am a 5 in magic. I don't know if that allows me a spell. 5 only allows 2. I need another point of craft to get another spell. Second turn. I roll both dice. 1, 3, 1, 2, 3. I'll draw a card. I'm just trying to rush out of the dungeon at this point. If you lose the combat, the beetle will eat one of your followers. That kind of sucks. Okay, I am 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm at +3 on the beetle. I kill the beetle. And this is my last move. I go to here, I roll a die, see where I end up. I do not get a 6. I end up at the Portal of Power. Over here, I could buy stuff from the peddler. I don't have any money. And the peddler peddles on. Well, that's 2 of the 3 players that have had a shot at getting the 6 and getting to the ending. At least this opens up a, hey, the end is in sight, because it gives an easy route to the end of the game. You can kind of say, well, that's kind of cheap, isn't it? Yeah, kind of. It shouldn't be in there. It's one of the few cards that I would say maybe I would remove from the Dragons expansion because of it making the ending too easy. But I gotta tell you, the game gets dull as shit when it gets into this kind of situation where nothing's happening. And that may be my own fault. I will not dispute that. Let's do at least one more round before this is going. I have the jetpack. I could go down to the dungeon, but I don't want to. I meet a crappie. Okay, fights a psychic combat. If you lose, it snatches you up and flies to the crags where you're dropped. Roll a die on the crag table. Your followers and any objects carried by porters, mules, and carts are all left behind. Okay, it's craft 4. I have a craft of 4. Make it 5 for the unicorn. I could just enslave this. I'm going to enslave the harpy. Too risky to fail. And then I can use it in a craft combat again, if I so face one. The mage, or sorry, the conjurer now again. Okay, I've got a 6 movement. I can't do much about that. Go to the village. I could buy lots of stuff. Instead, I'm just going to visit the mystic. I can't read this from here. If you're evil or neutral, you become good. Great. The dwarf. This is not a good space. I think I lose a follower. I'll lose the guide, but... Yep, you must leave one of your follows here. If there's a follower here already, you may take that follower with you. I don't know if... I don't know if somebody still has to leave one there. I think so. I think there's always going to be a follower there from now on, unless, you know, something weird happens. And finally... this dude, who's in no position to get all the way through, but can make his race for the cave. Champion. So fight in your place in a combat or psychic, but may not use any of your objects or spells. It's really just meat, you know. Sometimes there's things like that where you lose a follower. I'm done for a little bit. This is likely the final little flurry I do tonight. Let's see what happens. 1, 2, 3. Do I have? I have the jetpack, so I can go here. And on a 6, something wonderful happens. Not quite. That's a 5. Fight a dragon, strength 9 again. We did it last time. I don't know what it is. 4, 5, 9, 10, 11. I'm at +2. Let's check my spells. I should always check my spells, but I don't know what the hell. I'm having real trouble keeping track of, you know, there's just too much shit. Which is, I beat the dragon. Conjure. Conjure is kind of in the same position. I either want to gain craft, and I think it's possible for the mystic to give me craft here. It is. He won't give strength, which is generally more useful early in the game when you're down in the bottom level or whatever. But he does give craft, which is important for this. Oh, I have the warp belt. Screw that. That's 6. Okay, so I can move 1 space. And now if I roll that 6, I go all the way to the Crown of Command. Not quite. Strength 9. Uh, 3, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I'm at +7. I automatically succeed. The dork. card. It's a giant worm. It's a strength 5, so I'm at +2, +3, +4, +5. Okay, that's tied, so I don't kill it, but I'm also not defeated, so I don't have to run away. I just get to keep going. Our high mage gets his chance at the dragon, or at the end game. This is only a 3. Now maybe I could have done something cool. This is a dragon of strength 7. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I could just sacrifice that. I'm at +3. Success. Go back around. Now it's time to leave the Cave of Bones for everyone. Just a 1. I'm not as interested in getting my craft up, but I'll go there anyway. Visit the Mystic. I get a 2, which is probably nothing good. Ignored. The other guy, Warp Belt. Visit the Mystic. If I get my craft up a couple of points, I can go a different way of doing this, although I am also the best at doing this. Ignored. The Dwarf goes into the cavern, or the Chamber of Darkness. This is just roll a die and see what happens. And what happens in his case is 2 spaces back. He gets to face this thing again. It was strength 5, so I'm at +2, +3, +4, +5. That's not him. Strength 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm at +5. Okay. So I'm pretty good killing this. I got really unlucky to get no result. I'll keep those there, although the strength could be useful. I don't know what the hell, what are people carrying? Yeah, I know what he's carrying. I can't remember most of them though. Need a 1 here. That's a pretty hard number for me to roll. But I didn't move him. I jumped. Okay, well, 1 for movement. I'll go for a craft. Why not? 2, I'm ignored. Okay, need a 1 to get into the Cave of Bones. Hey, I called it, man. I should be able to get it, right? I have the jetpack, so on a 1 I can go to 2. I meet a craft 2 shade. I'm going to attack that with the harpy. Nothing too important happens with this. I get 4, 8, 9. I'm at like +7, so I automatically kill it. And that puts me on the conjure. Needs a 6. 4, fight a dragon, strength 8. 8. Okay, +3, +4, +5, +6, +7, +8. I kill the dragon. The dwarf. This is the kitchen. I may roll a die. I don't have to. This could heal lives. It could also poison me. I'll roll. I get a 2. It just tastes good. Because whenever you're wandering around in a dungeon, you know from D&D, you gotta eat the food you find there. B1 used to, it had like these little puddles of stuff, and if you eat one of them, nobody in their right mind would eat this stuff. They're like little pools of gel or something. And it's like, I don't know. They made them actually quite valuable if you eat them in some circumstances. Like, it's possible. There was a random chance that something really wonderful could happen. Or it could poison you or whatever. That's a 5 movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know. Let's go this way. Keeps me closer. I don't know. It's a doppelganger. Okay. A doppelganger is stalking the area. It remains until killed. It has the same total strength of whoever it's fighting. Well, this is interesting because if you've got your warhorse, you add your craft to your strength for 1 round of combat total. I think it still ends up even. I think there's absolutely no way to make this anything but even. I'm going to throw my champion at this. The champion beats the doppelganger. It's one of the great uses of things like the champion or the archer or something, is you can just, I don't know, pick off stuff that's garbage. That does that kind of mirroring type operation. We're back to the archaeologist and How are my lives? My lives are good. Over here, I mean, I can get a spell. That's about it. Everyone will die. I'm ignored. He goes, is there something craft-wise that he has that I want? I want his unicorn. I can't take that. There really isn't. I've got the Ring of Thieving. I could grab anything I want, but there really isn't anything on him that I want. Is there anything on this guy that I really like? Well, the power gloves or the magic ring might be useful. So maybe I want to be hunting that. But right now I'll go for... I'll just keep going for my 1 in 6 chance at the Cave of Bones. I think that's better. 3, that's not ignored. Yes, it is. Oops. The dwarf. The dwarf makes it to the end. You must stop here. On your next move, you roll a die. Okay. Two. I get a card. There's a market here. I could buy some basic shit. I have no money. I have no desire for its shit. That puts me on the beginning of the list of shit again. Right, this is a high roll that I did not particularly want. I'm healed up, I have enough spells. Do I want to go drinking? I could go 7 movement. What the hell? That hurts me in terms of hitting the Cave of Bones, but I hate getting a garbage action. So I'll take some gold. I move. I roll to see if I can end the game. I cannot. It's empty. The dwarf, let's see. Can I roll a 6 this time? No. I end up at the Portal of Power, where there is a Book of Dragon Lore. As long as you have the book, you may re-roll the dice in combat against dragons. You must accept the result of the second roll. You can ignore the effects of a bunch of things that can just kill you. I think I don't really have room for it. So here I'm at 5, 6, 7 with 2 dice. I may go up with the dwarf. That may make sense. Let's go with 5. Yeah. I'll go to the forest. I roll a die. 3. Lost for a turn. He needs a 6 to get to where he's going. Hey, he goes. I need another 6 to win the game. Well, maybe. To see if I win the game. No, I'm fighting a dragon. Strength 8. We count the total. 4, 8, plus 1. +2, +3. I win. This guy, gotta move. I'll go back, try to grab a craft. Nope. The dwarf. I'm going up. That means I only need 1 die on the Portal of Power, and my craft is 3, 4, 5. I have failed. I need to read this. I lose 1 from my chosen ability. Wow, I didn't remember that. Okay, but that's okay because I'm at my minimum and I can't lose anything. Okay. I stand up. I just feel like it should be ending any moment. Someone should be getting a 6. I had this stupid roll before. I'll go to there. It's Halloween. All right. All evil players can invoke the spirits by rolling a die. They might heal a life. They might miss a turn. Okay. No one's evil. Great. I go back in here. 1 in 6 chance of making it to the top. Boy, this is fun. The dwarf. I'm going to try to pick that lock again. I make it up. Oh, I don't have a fucking talisman. God damn it. Okay, now that I caught it this time, I need to fucking get a talisman. All right, I'm going to roll a die for movement instead. I'll go here because this is a good place to go. I don't want any of the shit there. I roll a 9. I'm going to forget. I gain a spell. I have 3, 4, 5 craft. I have room for another spell. Does this help me? It's a psionic blast. It allows you to add your craft to your strength for the duration of 1 combat, which could be quite potent. It gives you a temporary warhorse. Let me roll the last guy. Draw a card, and I'm done. It's the Wizard's Tower. You can enter this. If you do so, you roll a die. It could turn you into a toad. That would suck, but I can't be. It could ignore you, or it could give you a magic object. You look through the discard deck and take the one that's been discarded. Well, sure, I'll go in. There's no risk for me. I get a 5. That's going to be a magic object. I'll look through that, show you what I got, and then we're packing it in for a while. Searching through the discard pile, and I only do the adventure deck because, well, I think that's what it says. It says the discard deck. I'm assuming it doesn't let me paw through all the discard decks. Although I wouldn't be shocked if it let you paw through the city. The dungeon feels like a little too much. Okay, this is what I exposed. I look at them all and I'm like, well, a talisman, that could be useful if I was going up. Great. First thing is I have to dump something on the ground here. Because if I'm going to pick something up, I need to have room for it. I've got a fair number of like little 1-users and stuff. One of the 1-users really appeals to me. It allows me to add 2 to my strength. That gets me up to a 6 strength, and I'm getting close with this. This is only for combat. This is only for combat. This is 1. So I'm at 6, 7, 8, close to 9. I'm getting close to where I could just bust my way through the crypt. But whatever. But I think that's the best of all the actions. And then that'll end up on the top of the discard pile. That's it for now. I get to go dancing and I guess come back to this shit. And yeah, I mean, It's not a lot of fun. The early part of the game is kind of cool, but as you get later and later in the game, it just becomes more and more fucking tedious. The expansions don't help with that. The original game, you know, made kind of the progression a little bit easier and whatnot, and there was less stuff to distract you and go wander off and do that maybe didn't really help you. Although, I consider the dungeon a pathway to a shortcut to get to there, and likewise, obviously, the Cave of Bones does the same thing, which is kind of cool. Rainy day, slept it all away. As avoidance kicks in deeper and deeper. I got some shit I gotta take care of, and I'm just not fucking doing it. Alright, let's get to where the hell our archaeologist is. And he's looking to get his boners on. That'll do. He's got the jetpack, so I can get here and try for that 1 in 6 shot. Which doesn't happen. This time it's a dragon, strength 8. Well, let's see what I got. Got 8 plus 1. This is getting harder. Plus 2, plus 3. Got any spells I wanted to use here? I have slow motion. That I'm gonna want to cast that so I can do what the conjurer can do. I don't remember what I was at. 8 plus 3. That's a tie. That doesn't do shit. We go on to him. He's gonna visit the mystic. 4. Turns he good. Check his spells. See if I got anything. I mean, I could recycle some spells. That's really the one desirable thing I guess I could do. Sure. Cast an alchemy to turn this orb of knowledge into another bag of gold. Really collecting up the gold here. Not much use, but that lets me... Oh shit. I'm going to discard the time warp instead, using my special ability. And now I can do this again. I don't really want to. Alright, screw it. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Oh, the dwarf. What? I don't know. What the fuck is the dwarf up to? The dwarf is looking for a talisman. Let's see if we get one. 3. He has to deliver a follower. Ah. Alright. So you must complete your quest. Upon completion, it teleports me. I think I can try to pick up a different follower. I don't think I have to get rid of one right away. If I have to get rid of one, I'm kind of fucked, because these two are both really important to my goal. Once I deliver the follower, which I think I have to return here to do. No. I just discard a familiar. I'm going to need to write this down because there's no way I can remember it in a solitaire game. If I was playing at a table straight through, playing just one power or one character, sure. The Archmage, who has lots and lots of spells. Panic any animals. Enemy. When cast of your choice in the region of your character, the storm will panic any animals. Animal followers will run away on a roll of 5 or 6. Roll for each follower. Okay, so this is interesting. I'm going to cast this. This looks useful. Oh, they're not both in the same space anymore. Fuck. And he hasn't cast his spell yet. a hold until I should have done this during the break between the turns. I won't remember. Let's become evil for the turn. Or something near the thing. Well, I could destroy the bones with this. I don't know that I particularly want to do that. So I'll just roll. I get my shot at it. And here's the thing. Neither the mule nor the warhorse are followers. I'm not sure what qualifies as an animal follower. Does the unicorn? It looks kind of like an animal. And well, then what about the familiar? You know, at what level do you start calling something an animal? I feel like it's meant to get rid of the horse and cart, stuff like that. But it's worded wrong. I get a 5, that's a big nasty. That's a strength 9 one. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I'm at +2. Okay, I am beaten. I don't have a shield or anything. I should have shoved my champion at it, I guess. I don't know. I roll again. If I roll a 1, my man-at-arms dies, and that would suck. Close. You can definitely get yourself into a weaker position with those things. All right. Everybody's going to cast a spell here. Rather than movement, move it 1 space per turn for the next 2 turns. Well, this is the first of those turns. I'll move here. I get to do a 5. A 5 gains a craft, which is exactly what I wanted. That's, this is me. This is the high mage. This is my first extra craft. Do I particularly want craft? No, I actually would rather do the strength path because I'm more likely to get up there, but screw it, we'll see what happens. And now, as soon as he casts that, it's time for me to summon a storm on that space. And again, I'm saying it's going to affect the animals, not animal followers, which is an undefined thing. Like, there's very few followers that are animals. And I don't know if the dragonet and the unicorn count as animals. They don't look like it to me. Do we have, yeah, I mean, when you fight something, it doesn't define, yes it does. So there are almost no animal followers. Like, there are enemies who may be animals who may be able to turn into animals, and that would be an almost useless card in that case. I don't know. I'm going to use this that it can spook the mule and the horse and cart. 5 or 6. Roll for each follower. And again, this is just, I don't think it's not there. The war horse. These are the ones I want to hit. The unicorn and dragonet, can they be frightened? Sure. They're kind of animals. The dragonet runs away. The unicorn does not. And that gives me another spell. I could displace When cast, it empowers you to remove an upturned adventure card from the board and place it on any space in the same region and occupied by a player. Okay. That could be useful. I could pull the Cave of Bones to me and away from these other guys. Anyway, he's just done his thing, moved one space. We go over to the Conjurer, who also has the capability to move one space. 1 and 6. Nope, I got a big one, a 9. Anything I can do about it? Not really. 8, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I swapped the shield in for the warp belt. 16 to 9, I'm at +7, I beat it. Okay. The Dwarf. The Dwarf has to find a follower. Now, this is not easy. I don't want to give one of these up. I don't want to get that one. Normally, you've got extra followers you can get rid of. Go down here. Torch is useless to me. What about the Wizard's Tower? Turned into a toad, ignored, given a magic object. Yeah, I don't want any of that shit. I don't know that I want to go here. I'll go here. Draw a card. Ah, it's a storm giant. It's a follower. He becomes my follower in a fight in my place. Bye! All right. That gets me a talisman. You gotta find it. Problem. I have to get rid of one of these objects. I like the battle armor. The cross is a 1 in 6 chance to just win the game if the Demon King is drawn. The lance adds 1 to my combat, adds 3 if it's a dragon. This is kind of a, geez, I just don't know which one to get rid of. I'm going to dump the cross. I hate to do it. I liked carrying that around, but I need the talisman to make it up to here. Okay. So we just succeeded in something great. The game might end. Back to the mage. He rolls a 1. He's good now. That's no good. A 1 sucks because I can't pull the Cave of Bones to somewhere that other people really want to go to, that other people have difficulty going to. I would actually just be benefiting the Conjurer to do that. So I will go there and visit the Mystic because I'm good. 2. Ignored. All right. This is the second turn of this. I could have pulled it away from him. He rolls a 1 and 6. Doesn't get it. He gets a 3. Fight a dragon. Strength 7. That should be easy. 4, 5. I lost the dragon hat. Oh shit, I suck. 4, 5, 6. I'm at -1. They lose a life. Okay, the Cave of Bones has become significantly more dangerous for my archaeologist and is no longer maybe a good option. The question is, do I want to go in through the doorway? What was it? It's a follower, so I can't get it at the Wizard's Tower. I go 1. See if I get some craft. 4. Nope. I become good. The Dwarf. No clue what the Dwarf's up to. He's going up. 1. I meet a +2 Rod of Dragonfire. You can use this to cast a fireball at any opponent just before you fight them. It'll kill an enemy, including the Dragon King, or cause another character to lose a life. The rod has only one charge, and you must discard it after you use it. Oh, fuck. So, this would work on the demon or the Dragon King, or maybe others. I'm using the old Dragon King, I think, which has more options. There's a different one for dragons, which again bores me. I don't know where my dragons are. Player cards. I have a ton of these. These all came with it. They're like, answer some of the questions that I have, and I don't think I see. Oh, Dragons has this. I don't know if I see something with Dragons. You simply add the new cards, spaces from the Talisman, and you may not use from the adventure. Instead of any player who ends must encounter the Dragon King and attempt to defeat him to win the game. Well, that's kind of vague, and I think that is the instructions for it. So the Dragon King here, you would normally roll a die, but if you fight the Dragon King, he's 12, 12, and 5 lives, which means this would only work once on him. But it would kill the demon. Drop this. Lots of good stuff showing up there, but you know, maybe I should go get a horse and cart and grab all the goodies. It's hard to get to the city though. And well, horse and cart costs 5. Not quite there, but I could sell some of the crap that I pick up. Okay, where are we? We're back on the dude with the spell that he wants to fire off, that I remember that he wants to fire off. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll run here. I will cast my displacement. It happens right after taking your move. That was the move before you draw a card, I think. Put this here. Make life a little harder on the conjurer, especially. Roll a die. I get a 1. I think there's nothing there. Okay. But I do get another spell. Psionic Blast. You can add your craft to your strength. Or do you use it instead? So, I got 1 good combat. Archaeologist. 2. The Phantom doesn't do shit for me. The Market doesn't really do shit for me either. Just go there. Conjurer has to roll because he's no longer in his good place. 5, he gets lucky. Gets where he wants to go. And a 2 is there's nothing there, if I recall correctly. The Dwarf keeps going. Don't really want to go into the dungeon. I pick a 1 because I always pick a 1. I don't know. Yeah, the mage. Yeah, I don't know what he's up to. 2. I'll go here. I get a horsey. Okay, a horse is an object. I have to hold it. Allows me to add up to 3 to my die roll for movement, but followers only have their normal movement on the die roll, which means I would leave them behind. And then it says, if you leave them behind using this extra move on your next turn, you can ride back to them without rolling a die instead of your normal turn. Again, this is the kind of thing that I think there was some kind of rule in the city, but I couldn't find it, that allows you to pick things up that you leave lying outside the store if no one steals them before you. It's certainly more of a pain in the ass if you gotta leave stuff lying around and try to track it down again. All right, I'm done for a little bit. This is just, I mean, the game is just so piss poor. You know, there's a little bit of fun early on. If it ends real quick, it's great. And then maybe you kind of feel like, oh, maybe we should play again. And the answer is no, you shouldn't. But it also, the game doesn't live to its full potential without a fair amount of people, like 4 at the table. But once you get to that level, it usually just drags so much that it's like, screw it. It just sucks, man. I mean, I hear people talking about the fun. I think what they remember is the few good times, the few times that the game delivers something interesting and amusing. And for the amount of tedium that the game provides, and absolutely, you know, so little decision making and whatever, it's just fucking painful. I didn't move the dice at the end of my last little rant. What we're seeing here is not common for a Talisman game. It is often this drawn out, but there's just everybody running for the Cave of Bones to try to get a victory. That doesn't tend to happen. There's usually not an easy path available. That's only because of the Dragons expansion, and in particular, my interpretation or my modding the game makes it possible. Like, most of these characters couldn't fight the Dragon King, so they'd still be out trying to improve themselves. But because I'm using the random cards from the adventure, which they say not to, this becomes a shortcut. That's a good thing in my view, because it's likely to make the game a little quicker. Anyway, let's start with the archaeologist and hope he's actually the person who's supposed to go. Here's another thing, a little bit of difference. So if the guy who's the High Mage didn't have the Destruction card, but instead the Conjurer did, this would be gone. Right, because the Conjurer is actually in pretty good shape for getting up there. Maybe not quite as good as the Dwarf, but he's close. Yeah, that's not going to help. Oh, 1. Ugh. Before I turn good, I think. Conjurer. I mean, I'll scoop up some garbage. I can give this to the porter. I can alchemy it and destroy it for a gold. Do I still have an alchemy? I do. I'm going to play this alchemy rather than my alchemist, so that I can get my additional spell, water walking. Okay, that can be very helpful, but I'm not likely to be able to get rid of that. Gets me to the Dwarf, who's trying to make it up. He may not have a great chance here, but he feels it's his best chance of winning. I have no movement modification. I don't want to give up a gold or lose a life. I'll give up a gold because it's getting me closer. I can bank into there the same way you can bank up here. Again, if I recall correctly. Look at his spells. But yeah, what's not what wouldn't be here is this sort of everybody running and just dicing off until somebody finally gets a 6, which, I don't know, is pretty damn piss poor in terms of interest. However, it shortens the game, therefore it's good. Because the less time I spend playing this, the happier I will be. Dragon Dawn, there weren't any dragons asleep. Again, there's a couple of these in the deck, and they're the trigger for allowing the dragon cards. So, another one of my little mods. Back in. A 1, nothing. Great. The Dwarf. I try to go up. Now there's no die rolling up here. So I'm a 3, 4, 5 essentially, 6, 7, and I only have to roll 1 die. So I make it this time. Tick, tick, tick. That puts me on 5. Guess I'll go get drunk. 1, that's not good. Miss a turn. Get shit-faced. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. A Goblin Fanatic. This is a follower. He'll fight in your place in combat. He has a strength and craft of 0, but he rolls 2 dice in combat and adds their scores together. If he rolls doubles, he has killed himself. Oh, no. He loses the combat no matter what it is score. Right. Useful. There's times when you want to sacrifice followers. Mage. Double doors! Great. Well. Alright, now I move here. The gnome lets me roll 2 dice. I'm a 3. Oh, I cheated here. Hold on. That's only for the mines. So he only had a 5. Okay, he made it up. Yeah, I have a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on 2 dice. Fair chance. And I only need that 7 because the 0 lets me stay in the mines. I get a 5, so I'm still there. This is going to be problematic. Okay. What's my spell? Restoration and Sandblast, yeah. I don't have much of a chance, but I could get lucky. Like, get the Crown of Command, for example. There's some other things like the Belt of Hercules, which really sucks. Because I'm not the most powerful fighter. And it could well indicate I lose the game, if that comes up. He just stood up. We go to the archaeologist. 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Crappy. Could get a spell. I want to stay close. But I could lose a turn here. 5. Safe. 1 in 6 chance. Eventually somebody has to roll a 6, you'd think. There we go. And now the way I do this is that there are 6 of these. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Running from the top one, I guess. Yeah, let's run from the left. Number 2. It is the Demon Lord. If I had the cross, I would win the game. So now the cross becomes incredibly valuable if there we go. Yeah, the adventure is one of the very early expansions the Demon Lord. The crown of command has been destroyed by a huge malevolent demon. Craft 12 4 lives. To defeat him, you must take all his lives. You can choose to flee at any time, in which case you enter the plane of peril. Sorry, up here. And the Demon Lord regains all his lives. While you are fighting the Demon Lord, an impenetrable mystic barrier prevents any other player from coming up into the Valley of Fire. Sucks to be the Dwarf, because he has to go somewhere. If you are killed, the Demon Lord regains his lives and awaits the next challenger. Okay. Well, he has multiple lives. I can kill him once. That's it. It's time to go back and get the cross. Yep. Okay, but I get to face him. I have an 8 craft, 9, 10. I could just run. Like, I am really unlikely to be able to beat him. He's a 12 with 5 lives. I am a 10 with 4 lives, and nothing that I can increase that with. I run. Knowing what the victory conditions are, now life becomes hard again. And if I want to get back up here, I either have to follow the Talisman route, and my craft will be higher, so it'll be plausible, or play with the Cave of Bones. But nobody's got an automatic victory anymore, except you can go get the cross. And that becomes almost an automatic victory. The Dwarf starts his way back. The Archmage, what can he do? Well, I'm set up as best as I can. I don't want to go into the cave anymore. Can I get across the river in any easy way? Of course, if I grab the cross, people will start hunting me. I guess I just roll a die. No, you know what? I think I destroy the cross. Hate to do this. Just lengthened the game tremendously. But, yep. And I get a spell. Resurrection. Cast a spell. When cast, it permits you to take a defeated enemy card held by another player towards gaining strength. The resurrected enemy will add its strength to yours for 1 combat, in which case you must discard it. Well, that could be very useful. I think I'm going to steal that demon, or that dragon prince. So here are the questions. Do I want it now? It doesn't say my next combat. It just says for 1 combat. So I think I can just grab this. And now I have a resurrected follower. I draw this. And I've stolen a strength point as well. Feeble Mind. You can cast this at any time. It will make any character or enemy's craft by 1. I'll hit the conjure. Now, I don't know what happens if 2 players have reflection capabilities, but I've just dropped his craft by 1. Yep, dicky, dicky, dicky. Teleport. Ugh! Could have been useful. I would have still had to cross to the other region to grab the cross really easily. But yeah, let's roll a die, I guess. There's nowhere I terribly want to go. I have 6. Go here. I don't want to go into the city. Normally, Yeah, there's just, I could play with the Enchantress, but I have to go here. I can't do it right at the city anymore. So I'll do with this 6. 6 is gain a spell. I have 6 craft. I'm able to have a 3rd spell. Enrich. Roll a die and take that much bag. Sure. You get 3 gold. This is the thing with the characters who have replenishing spells. They quite often just get a pile of spells that none of them are all that useful. Because whenever I get one that's useful, I cast it immediately. And of course, that one you probably would anyway. I'm at a loss as to what to do now. Everybody's got to get their craft up. There's the Wizard's Tower. That can give me the cross. That's the secret. Now, I just realized that with this character, here's the problem. In a real game, some players might not realize that link. I find a piece of garbage. I got room for garbage. Still, great. Why carry it around? I don't know. The Conjurer. Well, Conjurer's got to make his way back. You don't encounter anything as you limp your way back. Doesn't matter which way I go. But it's still 1 space per. The Dwarf pops out. He doesn't want that book. I don't know what the hell he wants anymore. It's probably better than a Talisman right now. As long as you have the back. Yeah, screw it. I'll drop my Talisman that I fought so hard to get. Right at the door so the next person who wants to go can do it. Okay. Anybody who can face the Demon King, the Demon Lord, is going to be able to handle getting up here, is my feeling. Or they can plink their way through. All right, let's see if we can make it to the Wizard's Tower. I want to stay close. It's the only place to be. I want to stay close. It's the only place to be, but can I do something to him? Is there something I want from him? Like, I'd love his ring. So I have an attack of 4, 5. I have the Ring of Command. That doesn't help. That like enslaves something, right? Enslaves a dragon. It's a weaker Staff of Mastery. Okay. 4, 5, 6. I suck at combat. I can't take it from him. Conjurer limps his way home. The Dwarf says, oh, I hear about this Wizard's Tower thing. Gotta make my way down. Dwarf's gonna go heal himself at the castle. God, this is so fucking exciting, isn't it? The Mage. Don't have a way to move just one that I'm aware of. So I'll do this. Okay. I go in there. That's not a guarantee of any sort. 4. I am given a magic object. Get rid of this stupid sword. Don't need it. And now I'm going to be going back to the cave, but everybody wants my cross. And there are people who are stronger than me, I think. There's also the magic ring, which could steal it. In the one person who might be the strongest in that alignment. All right, well, let's keep going. Exciting, huh? I don't have any idea what this guy can do. He needs to get his craft up big. Guess, I don't know. There's less crap over here. a magic amulet. You can't cast or use any spells. Certain spells just won't affect you. It's not very many. This is anytime it's in your possession. I don't know if that counts if I put it on a mule. But it's clearly a better thing than a broken shield, because I can turn it in and become the Archmage. Wherever the fuck he is. Conjurer makes his way home. This would allow me to get to the board quicker. I'm not allowed to encounter it. I am fleeing the Crown of Command. The Dork gets a 1. There's too much clutter on the board. I need a vacuum cleaner. And nobody's picked it up yet. Okay, and the one person who has a chance of winning will go to the forest, I guess. And be trying his 1 and 6s. But he's lost for a turn. And here's the thing. I mean, anybody can go pick on him who's capable of it. But I do have this big strength 9 beast in play. Meanwhile, these are there. I guess I do another one. I don't know. I have a fucking mule, which makes life hard. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. Could soak up more garbage. What I really want to do is how much stables costs 1 gold for each horse. So I could stock that with some of my best stuff in the stables. It's possible that that can be stolen, but only through a card or something. But anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we may see some more action on the city. Sorcerer, set up shop here. He'll remain for the game. He will sell spells for 1 gold per spell. That could be really, really useful. I am allowed 1 more spell. I'm going to buy it. Destroy magic. You can cast this at the start of a turn. When you cast it, no player, including yourself, can cast a spell or gain any benefit from a magic object till the start of the next turn. Well, that's definitely not that useful. I limp back another space. What is the Dwarf up to? Okay, let's think about the Dwarf here. He has basically no way of beating the High Mage. I have a magic object or so. So I could go steal the High Maginess. That might be my best move. I find a horse and cart. Vacuum cleaner achieved. Okay, so this allows you to add 1 to your movement, if you wish, and to carry as many objects as you like. I got to throw something on board it. I'm going to put the map on it because I'm only allowed to have 4 objects attached to myself. So everything I put in the horse and cart becomes kind of... somebody could steal the horse and cart and get all of them. So I got to be kind of careful about that kind of shit. And last but not least, we stand up. And I'm going to move a lot of dice over here. This game has just gotten a lot longer. Perhaps. Let's load this one up and the battery's dying. We jump in with a little bit more. One of the viewers made an observation, a prediction, that I would get approximately, I would get much stronger view times on these vids. That doesn't hold out. And I actually am surprised by this as well. I given the reaction that I got to like putting Talisman up from various people, I did kind of have the impression of, oh wow, there are, still a lot of people who remember this really fondly and maybe want to see me muddle through it or whatever, because that's the kind of reaction I was getting. When it's, well, my views on it. But I'm kind of happy to say I'm getting about the same views, both on the intro and on the first playthrough, which is probably the most important for most videos, that I got from the Milosevic game. I think there's a fair amount of people who just are saying, yeah, this ain't for me, or I know all about this already, or whatever. So I'm getting about the same views, and there's nothing that particularly stood out about that one. So there's that. Fuck. No, my pipe is dying out. I don't want to start without a pipe. I'll be back in a moment. Let's try to figure out what our solutions are. So the cross was destroyed. There's no easy way out. The archaeologist doesn't have anything that really is putting him forward as someone who has a chance at this point of dealing with that demon lord. The demon lord is one of the hardest ones, because generally, even characters that have a high craft, they're usually ones who have picked up the warhorse. One of two. There's one you can buy in the city and one you can get out of the adventure deck. The Demon Lord basically insists that you are capable of fighting a craft battle alone. And it's one of the most painful, out of several very painful cards. I'll go over what some of the others are since we reached here. Horrible Black Void. Causes a new random card to come out. Now it throws you into the timescape. I always rule that the exposition of this card enters you into the end game when death is permanent. Pandora's box. Oh, this one sucks so bad. But most of these are pretty bad, which might be why Dragons got rid of. Pandora's box, you draw some random adventure cards and spells. You can keep some of them, and you can throw others to attack opponents. It's really, really tough to kill someone just using the adventure deck and spells. Crown of Command. So this is the original. This is what the game, the space is called the Crown of Command. You pick a character and you roll a die. On a 4 through 6, they either have to submit or die. And by die, that means they lose 1 life. It can take a while to accomplish, but is probably one of the stronger ones in terms of you get up here, you win if you get it. And that's what the original rules were, but the adventure added this right away. Belt of Hercules allows you to teleport onto other players and fight them. But if you have the belt, you have a strength of 12 and 5 lives, and you must attack them. It is a really horrible thing, because to get up here, you probably have a combat capacity of 12. Again, it's not clear. Can it be modified, whatever? It seems really, really awful, though, to me as written. And then the Dragon King is roll a die. You might just win the game. But you might have to fight some things. But it basically is something that you are able to fight. Now, the Dragon King himself has both normal and psychic combat. And you have to fight on both realms at once. This sounds hard, but first of all, it's not the automatic. Like, the Demon Lord is automatically what he is. And secondly, it at least half the combats will be physical, and you're probably able to meet those. All right. What am I doing? This is going to be a long one, though. I don't know if I want to do it all. Do I want to go in the city? Phew. I got a mule. That was my plan. Let's keep going with it. We can sell some of our garbage and stuff like that. The Conjurer. What's up with the Conjurer? The Conjurer comes down. Does he want a talisman? Well, I have one. But I have room to carry another object. So I'll scoop it up. I'm going to destroy this one and turn it into a gold. Because I still have my alchemist. All of that work and now it's gone. What is the dwarf up to? The dwarf has the horse and cart. He's probably strong enough to get back up here and start scooping stuff up. So I'm just going to roll a die, see where I move. Well, let's look at my spells. Feeling a little under the weather right now. Oh, I can go an extra move. I'll pick up the lance. The lance is a good object. What do I want to put? Put that there. And finally, the mage. See, I don't know what the fuck he's up to. I have so little chance of doing anything. I'm a 5/6 craft. Wait, I have the cross. Oh, I got it back from the wizard's tower. That's right. Okay. Well, my path is easy. I should be looking to defeat him, actually. But let's take a look at his strength. So he's a 6, 7, 8, 9, and could throw this in the way to fight instead. And I have another possible 9 from my resurrection, which makes me quite powerful in combat. So the first combat I'd probably lose against him. But the Conjurer should be making his way down there. But yeah, there's a way to win. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dragon Skull. You can exchange this for a talisman at the Warlock's Cave. I got nowhere to hold this, so I'll just drop it on the ground. And I have a horse, so I can move faster. I'd have to give these up, and that's problematic. Back. Okay, so we have a path forward. 1, 2, 3, 4. I pay a gold to put my mule there, but this is not the stuff I want on the mule. Ring of Command. The porter is allowed to walk around. Oh, he can carry my stuff. Not all of it, but he can carry most of it. So which object do I want on the mule? I'll probably put the axe here. Now I have to remember that he owns this mule, which isn't hard right now. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I can carry the axe. I don't really need the mule, do I? Because I have The porter can hold 3 of these things. What do I want to have in my possession? I definitely don't want the amulet in my physical possession. Winged boots. I've got the jetpack. Sure. It's the most likely to actually help me. Alright. The city's rules are really poorly written. It's one of the more problematic parts of the game, in my opinion. We're going to try to make it down so we can try to steal the cross. But we got a shitty roll. I'll just go there. That doesn't hurt me. The Dwarf. The Dwarf has no easy way to steal anything, but he does have the capacity to scoop stuff up. Great. Go to the chasm. No, I don't want to go to the chasm. I don't want to go here. I don't want to be. I'll just go here. It's safe. Oh. Back to the mage, looking to try to hit the Cave of Bones, and okay, I get there. On a 6, I win the game because I got the cross. But instead, it's a 4, which is a dragon strength 8. I'm a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Puts me at +3 against it. I win. This guy, he's going to go become Archmage, I think. If he can. 1, 2, I draw a card. I fight a library. I may roll a die. This is a pretty shitty place to go. I could gain a craft, though, and that makes it worthwhile. I get a 2, which is lose a turn browsing. Conjurer, trying to find his way down to steal the cross. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get one more move. I meet a frost dragon. This is cool. So I'm 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. +8, I kill it, and I'm going to convert it to a point of strength. Now, when dragons are asleep, it's cool because you can like murder them even at low level. It's one of the few things that makes the dragon deck not that devastating, but you just run into dragons and wake them up, and it's no good. This guy's kind of hopeless. Can't even pick it up. Go to the Hidden Valley Ranch. So the first thing I deal with is these dragon cultists. They're strength 4. They could drag me to the sacrificial stone, which I think is terrible. But obviously I'm relatively strong compared to them. 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, maybe not that strong. I don't want to waste my Psionic Blast on them. I'm at +2. Kill them and convert them. Now I meet a magician. He'll change any and all strength points I have into craft or vice versa. I want this to happen. I don't like how weak it's making me, but that's going to make me a 7, 8, 9 against that 12. and getting strength is easier. I wish I had more I could convert, obviously. So he's gone. And now the final is there's a shrine, and there's no reason not to visit the shrine. I get a 5 that gains me a life, which it doesn't limit me to my maximum, so I get an extra life. And finally, my mage has to roll for movement. Sorcerer will sell me spells. Village might give me craft. I don't really need it. Oh well. There's no harm. And I don't want to move faster because then I lose my followers. Ignored. Okay. Stands up. Don't want to go to the graveyard. I lose a life there. However, I don't have many choices. It's lose a life or go to the crags. There's not a great answer on either of these because now I'm in striking range of someone who could whack me and steal my magic ring. But I gotta stay in striking range. I'm good, so I lose a life, right? Yeah. Sucks to be me. But I have tons of money, and there's places I can heal. That puts it on the dwarf, who's acting as a vacuum cleaner. Go to the Sphinx. A 1, because I always pick 1. Hey, I got it. What do I get? Take a spell. Well, fuck. Yeah, I have room for another spell. Brainwave. You can cast this. It'll increase your craft by your starting craft for the remainder of that turn. Okay, that gives me 3 more craft. So I was at 7, 9. I'm at 11. This is interesting. I'm getting close to the Demon Lord, but it's only for 1 turn. The Demon Lord has craft of 12. Yeah, it looks to me like I fight 1 round per turn, which means that would only work once. Could be useful, but it's not what I'm looking for. I roll a crappy ass 1. I'm not evil. I'll go here. I'm not thrilled with this. I get a magic tankard. As long as I have this, I may heal my lives back to their starting whenever I land on the tavern. I mean, yeah, I need to heal, but another option is to fucking kill him. He's at 2 lives. He'd be knocked out of the game permanently if he's killed. Interesting. I don't like the 6 Fates Inn. It's basically a gambling place. But do I like cards? I am legal. I'm trying to get to the Magic Emporium, though. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 2 cards. The Enchantress can turn me into a toad. I'd rather not have that happen. So I'll draw 2 cards. And I meet Lost. Lose a turn asking for direction. Then you can move to any street in the city. And the Gamekeeper is a follower, but I don't encounter him before I'm lost. I'm going to leave the Lost on there. Because it gives me a special capability. And I'll have to play a little bit more because of that. I need a 1. I have a 1. I use my magic ring. I put it on, I don't know, instead of my warp belt, whatever. 4 through 6, I get to steal the cross. There we go. We have the cross. I got room for it here. And it's going to be hard for him to get that back. Plus, I'm no longer in a position to win with him. The dwarf. Continuing vacuuming. Am I smart enough for the maze? I am. I don't know. None of it really matters. I'll just go there. All right, we're fucked. And that sucks. I can teleport to the space that I am on. That gets me another card. It's the only way I could get there. I'm going to heal myself up to 4. Keep playing spells and recycling them. I may not be the Archmage any longer soon, though. I could Hex. This must be done at the start of my turn before I move. Not now. Okay, but I'm going to fight him. He has the Warhorse. That gives him 4, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Not really worried about the shield. I can have the shield instead of the warp base. But I'm not really worried about having lives taken away at this point. So 16 for him. I have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This would bring me to 16, 17. So I'd be a +1 with that. 11, 20. I think this is too important to just use the psionic. 20. And what was he at? 16. So I'm at like +4. 7, 11. Now, I could steal the damn Warhorse. That would be cool too. And I could steal the ring. I mean, there's so many things I want to steal from that character, and I can't do them all. I get 1. I mean, I really don't fucking know which one is the best choice. I'm going to take the Warhorse. I think that gives me the best options here, because the other things are all things that can be used to get something back. Now, am I open to, hey, he could end up winning the game next turn? Yeah, that's a possibility. But there's not much I can do about that. He stands up. I got to remember Lost, because still doesn't get to that space. That puts me on. I want to roll a die because I have a chance of winning this turn still. I only get a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Draw a card. It's a bag of gold. I could have healed, but I'm less worried about that. Vacuum cleaner. Totally failing at that job. I need to try to hit him still to get that cross from him. And maybe other stuff. 6. I could go to the Cave of Bones, but I'm just not good at it. Does he have a capability to do something? He could steal my horse. But I need to stay in contact with him. I'm not going inside the cave. Where do I want to go? I can go to any street in the city. I don't know if I want to. Oh, I'm pretty much where I want to be. So I'll roll a die. I go into the Magic Emporium and I trade some stupid magic item that I don't want. Let's say the amulet. And I steal the High Mage back and have just weakened him significantly. And now I'm the High Mage and want to spend spells as soon as I can. Not going to be too easy. Destroy Magic is a pretty damn useless spell. You must cast this at the start of your turn for the movement. When you cast it, no player, including yourself, can cast a spell for... you know, that would suck. But it at least gets rid of it. Okay. The Conjurer needs to try to steal the horse. I get a shot. 4, 5, or 6. I steal the horse back. Now I'm back in the position I was in before, where I've got everything. I encountered a player, so I can't encounter the space. The dwarf will continue his futile effort. Cursed Glade, do I want to go there? Not really. That's a horrible place. Trying to get that pile. The Marine. The Marine got fucked again. I have something. I have a Psionic Blast, which will help me a little bit. I have another point of strength I can gain. Not sure I want to stay in contact, though. 6 over here. Or the tankard that might be useful someday, but doesn't really help me now. A couple bags of gold. The High Mage is going to destroy magic. I get a card, which I can't use. Hey, that's a good way to kill somebody who's at like 1 life, right? Do I have to be next to him? This spell may only be cast during an encounter. The spell will kill an enemy, except spirits, and take 2 lives from any character. You do not need to fight a combat. Okay, so this would be somewhat effective against the Demon Lord. I don't know if it takes 2 lives from him. You would kind of think so, but... And I'm running low on battery, so I'm going to have to swap. This is pretty potent. It means all magic objects are out of play for this turn. Which, you know, if you have the cross, doesn't get you through the Demon Lord. I move 1. I don't want to drink. Maybe. We're close to the end again. Somebody's trying to make it. The Dwarf, 6. Get a draw there. I get an idol. I can pray as if it's the temple. Sure. I'm kind of hopeless right now. 5. I don't know if that's good. Enslaved. Okay. I need to get a 4, 5, or a 6 on my move to free myself. Once it's been prayed to, it animates and goes to the discard pile. So I'm going to put this here to try to remind me. But that may mean I have to play some more. Do I want this? Not really. I mean, it's better than a broken shield, I guess. I'll carry it around. Destroy magic goes away. I got Finger of Death and Reflection, which I I already sort of have, but it's not guaranteed. Oh, who's the high mage? I am. So now I'm at 6, 7. That's not very strong. I guess I come out. Forces me to draw one of these. It's the watch. There's nothing illegal about me. I didn't just check because I did something illegal, so I'm fine. And I move here. If I roll a 6, I win the game. It's over. And I don't know, maybe I linked this to the last video and it is over. That is the end of the game. Because I've just shown up at the Demon Lord. I have the cross. The destroy magic was gone. I am so glad it's done. And you get to see what a tedious fucking game this is. It maybe isn't as bad. So to me, the thing that hurt it the most was the city. But I've left the city in the game every time I've played since I got it, except every now and then we drop it. I know some people think the timescape was problematic. Dragons also was kind of iffy. When I first got it and started playing it, you know, I didn't like it then either. I already knew I didn't like the game, but whatever. It has been a regular pastime for me with both my wives at least. And not at the same level as Magic with my first wife, about the same as Crayon Rails, and again, Dominion was my was the big thing that my second wife and I played a lot of. But both Magic and Dominion have a sort of a, hey, let's throw down, you know, you could play a game of it in 20 minutes for Magic. It was really kind of like an hour commitment. What this and Crayon Rails, for my first wife especially, served as was something that was less painful for them and that we didn't have to learn rules for or whatever, because it was remembered well enough for playing it so many times, that we could just, you know, say we're going to spend the afternoon at this or whatever, instead of something that was a little meatier and more fun. And, you know, it was kind of the trade-off. It was like, well, we played a war game last time. Let's play Talisman because I'm okay with that, you know? And I don't know that either of them, they both liked it more than I do. I think most people like it more than I do. That I've played it with. I know people who are like, I just won't play it, which obviously they like it less than I do. But yeah, in terms of everything, all the time spent trying, you know, trying to putter your way up to the victory, and then you get it and you find out that, oh wow, I'm not set up for this, but there's one card which wins me the game. And by the way, that's not me making anything up at all. That question is actually in the Q&A. Was, hey, will the cross defeat the Demon Lord? And it's like, yes. It's like, okay. Perfect win situation. And truth of the matter is, with like the Wizard's Tower, there was a fair chance, if that's in the game, that you can pull out that special magic item that you need. Because look, I mean, I went through half that big adventure deck. Half of it's not available. I can't, you know, I can't touch the things that aren't in there, but whatever. All right, I'll attach this to the other video because that's clearly not fully loaded. Cheers.